Train by day, Kyle Wigginton podcast by night, all day.
Marcus and Mike and Marcus, are taking over our comedy podcast. Congratulations to Pickle once again for his success and getting picked up on another show. So, yeah. You guys, what do you plan on doing with the podcast?
We want to showcase all the talent in New Orleans. Like you said, there's so many talented people that come into this bar that deserve their own shows, their own things, and we want to show be it film or music, stand up, all the arts. We want to showcase what they do and talk to them, and then in between, make fun of all sorts of things trending and New Orleans news.
Mm-hmm. Dude, New Orleans is so much bigger than people even know about. People come here to party, but there's no reason why they don't know about a stand-up scene.
Yeah.
And they go straight to bourbon. There's much more music around the city than they know about. Mm-hmm. Local acts, local bands.
Yeah, I ran a show at Goss. It was called the Belmonte, and it was stand-up. And then we had Fox the Mayor play, and we had these two tourists that came in. They were like, yeah, we were thinking about going to bourbon, but then we're like, screw it, let's go see what New Orleans is looking like. And they were like, this is the best show we've seen.
Yeah, dude, the neighborhood bars are where it's at for art. If you go to the French Quarter, you're going there to get blasted and to blast somebody.
To hurt yourself.
Yeah. Or maybe get blasted too.
Get shot.
Yeah.
Right.
There was a few shootings this day. Today.
So someone was telling me about a shooting that occurred during Mardi Gras while one of the parade floats were driving down the street and the parade's never stopped. And there's no way to stop the parade, so I get that aspect of it. So I'm not talking bad about that. But the fact that the party just kept rolling and somebody just got blasted right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, in 2019, before the whole, COVID happened in March 2019?
Is that when it happened?
2020.
What year is
2020.
2020?
Yeah.
All right, so that Mardi Gras, 3 people died within a week underneath floats. They all fell into a crowd, blackout. Floats ran them over. And we kept going. Yeah, it killed them.
Well, they kept going for a little bit, and they're like, all right. Let's get them off the ground.
No, I think it was the newscaster, that night, somewhere on the local news, they were just like, yo, lady died underneath a float.
How loud does that music have to be to...
It's New Orleans. If we tell them to stop, we're going to be on the news.
Oh, no, there's no... Yeah, right.
We're going to be exactly what we're talking about.
Can you turn that down, please?
Was that Wheezy? No.
Yeah, so we did a preliminary show the other day, and it was fucking hilarious. We might post it, we might not, but I think that's y'all's ticket because it was raw.
It was real.
There's so many people nowadays that are trying to censor everything that comes out of their mouth, so they're not being authentic to themselves.
Yeah, people definitely aren't going to like me after they hear that. But that's fine.
I thought it was fucking hilarious. After you finished and we were talking about it, I was like, that's your ticket.
By the way, for everyone that's hearing this, he said when I finished, I was actually masturbating while I was telling them this story, and climaxed as soon as I portrayed the message the exact way I wanted it to.
I climaxed too. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah,
I was just in the corner watching. It was awesome.
With his baseball cap.
Oh yeah.
But this kind of shit right here, this is what made Opie and Anthony such a popular show because they were raw and they had Patrice O'Neal on there too. So and Bill Burr. That's how they got to start.
It was great learning about comics. That's why I think a lot of people need to if anyone wants to do stand-up comedy, the best thing to do is for them to look at old podcasts, Opie and Anthony, just all the stuff of them just talking and hanging out, because that's the education right there. Yeah. And going to an actual stand-up show.
That's real life. A lot of stuff we see on the news and we see on social media, that's all fake life. They're literally creating a fake life, and then when you actually see them behind the scenes, you're like, oh fuck, this person's life is miserable.
Yeah, what a dweeb.
But we compare ourselves to these fake lives and these news shows that we watch, and it's not real life. Real authentic life is people that are out here living every single day like you guys are, and then coming and shooting the shit about it.
Man, look, speaking of shooting the shit, just a few minutes ago, we were all talking about
you're ready to get into this aspect of it. Well, let's do this. So, relationships. How do you guys feel about relationships?
At the moment, man, I don't need to be in one.
I think they're the best.
Well, those are interesting outlooks. Let's hear from both because those are two sides of the coin.
I can trust me to be me. And that's great. I'm good for myself. I am good for myself. I love myself. I treat myself so good. Mm-hmm. When there is a person linked with me, that's like getting on a roller coaster and then you get off the roller coaster and you have herpes. Like you don't want to,
Oh my God.
I don't have herpes. I'm just saying it's a wild ride. It's a wild ride.
So, well, you're saying this so this person
Or an STD, by the way. I don't.
Yeah, I know that was a bad reference for
a bad.
Probably the worst analogy
I could ever do.
No, but so what you're saying is that you want the other person to be independent too, and you come together and complement each other's lives rather than someone depend on you for their emotional stability.
Yeah, man. Because
because relationships are two people that are coming together and supporting each other, but you don't want to support someone to the fact that you're being their parent.
Yeah, I want to be a stand-up comic. I also, on the side, I work in film. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of nights that I put towards what I love. Like, if I'm not doing stand-up comedy, I would rather spend my time writing. I'd rather spend my time looking at some. That's a lonely and by itself. I would love to go out and have dinner and all that other stuff, but I feel like the time that I spend with this other person, that time could be put towards making me better in the craft that I want to be in.
No, it makes sense. It's the conundrum of the artist right there, where you have to put your 10,000 hours or whatever it is into creating your craft, to forming that. But I think the relationship's the same thing. Like, everything in life takes energy and work, and a relationship's the same way. Like, you have to put your 10,000 hours in to make a relationship work too.
Just master that relationship.
Yeah. So like, do you like crave that? Like, do you need a relationship in your life, or?
No, because even at a certain point, at a certain point, you realize I'm either capable of being with someone and giving them this time, or I'm not. And at this point, I'm not. And that's okay. I need to work on myself before I can build the pillar that is a relationship.
Right. The bad thing about when you find yourself too is then you have to find someone who's found themselves. Yeah. And that's a very tough thing to do in today's society, because most people would rather just have that fake appearance online rather than actually deal with their shit and be a better person.
Yeah. Like being honest.
Do you have some take on this, Marcus?
I got all the takes.
I mean, we don't want to get anyone in trouble here.
No, I'm not going to be in trouble. This question occurred like not too long ago, where she asked, like, when you talk to your friends about me, do you paint me in a bad light? And I'm like, whenever I talk to my friends about you, I'm venting. Of course, you're in the worst light.
Dude, anybody that anybody that paints their significant other in a good light to their friends is annoying.
Yeah. It's like, stop lying to me, nigga. Stop lying. Every day you wake up happy as hell, huh? Every day? It's like, that's what friends are for. It's like, when things get rough, I'm like, bro, you're not going to believe it. But that's why we talk to dudes, because every dude understands immediately what you're talking about.
No, I mean, logically that makes sense. Yeah, you have your friends to talk about things with you can't talk about them with.
Yeah, like if she's only big upping me to her friends, we shouldn't be together. You know what I mean?
No, but that's
your friends should fucking hate my guts because of all the terrible things that like, they shouldn't think any less of me because they don't really know me.
I feel like that is I guess, like, I don't know if gender specific would be the correct term, but women definitely big us up to their friends. But if you notice, like, in their world, their friends would be like, okay, I guess I'll just go and try and fuck him tomorrow.
Oh my God.
We don't.
Right. They're like, he does sound kind of nice.
And our world is just like, we'll ignore our homie's girl for like 7 years. And finally be like,
hey, she kind of bad, low-key.
Man, that's a lucky man, dude.
Yeah, bro.
That's a lucky dude.
It's like we say that they're ugly but also beautiful at the same time. Like, I got my friend can have the ugliest girlfriend in the world, and if he ever asked me an opinion, I'm like, oh, that's a dime. That's a 10, bro. You're killing it.
You know how many times your girlfriend tried to give me a dap and I just went like this?
Right. Start hailing the cab like, hey, taxi.
So well, the other night this happened, and we were out eating. It's the last. So I've recently taken on a girlfriend, and we're recently
Taking on a
single
girlfriend
again. Yeah,
Single again. Yeah.
but yeah. So relationships aren't my forte either. But one of the last times we were out, speaking of like backhanded compliments, we were out with one of my buddies, and my girlfriend took her jacket off, and he went, "God damn!" And I was like, "Dude," I was like, "That's so fucked up."
Yeah.
I just called him out. I was like, "You basically just in front of my face said I would fuck your girl."
Yeah, that's not okay. That's not okay.
No.
That's what I was thinking, and she was like, "It's okay." She was trying to like nullify the situation, but I was like, It's not okay because he needs not to do that because that's a very rude thing to do. I understand the compliment. Thank you for that. But at the same time, it's very rude to do in front of, if it's like us behind the scenes. But
and he looks at you like, hey.
He's like, yeah.
Hey. Yeah, man.
It's like,
that's fine.
It's all about, because if your homie just comes up to you to the side and goes like this, good job.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
I get
great.
that.
That's love.
That's love. She's got to be nowhere in the room and he goes like this.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't have to say anything. Just even the head nod.
Yeah,
Just,
Let's look at you batting 1,000 right now.
respect,
Yeah, that's love.
God damn.
oh man.
What the? Like, bro, really?
Hey, yesterday at dinner, me and Mike were talking about like what would catcalling look like in sign language.
I'm sure there's a thing, right?
It gotta be right. Just clapping their hands. Like, you just see a dude. He's just like, ah, ah.
I don't know. That's probably a real thing.
Start breakdancing.
If anyone knows what catcalling and sign language looks like, let us know.
Let's send in.
Could you imagine some dude is like, because like we're visual motherfuckers. We can see a really cute girl from a very far distance. Some like deaf man is just like a mile away. See some girl. Starts putting up silence.
He could have a whole conversation. If she speaks sign language, he could have a whole conversation.
Whole conversation.
Well, if one of your senses is down, your other senses are
Dude, heightened.
yeah.
He could see 3 miles away.
Oh, this man's like a hawk. He's like, yeah.
Do you guys remember that news story of a dude who got a date during the quarantine? He was on the roof of New York and he saw the same chick. Were they playing chess or something from across the ways?
They were writing notes to each other initially, and then that's how they like started their date or whatever.
That and he used a fucking drone.
Yeah,
I think to get that is.
You see, that's why distance within a relationship is important. Because I guarantee the moment they met each other, they couldn't fucking stand each other. They started a relationship across the street from each other.
Great relationship. 3 years.
Best relationship you've ever been in.
Well, you say it's a good thing, but that's the relationship that I just ended again. It was a long distance relationship too. So I think it's good for like certain things, but other things like you need you need to be with each other.
Yeah, like in a relationship I had, we had 2 different apartments. It lasted about a year, but I spent all my time at her apartment.
Right.
Her apartment was nicer. It just became the thing. It became the norm of what we would do. And after a while, man, it was like, okay, so I think that's what got me in the mode of wanting to move in with her. It was like, we're here all the time together.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Might as well. I have an entirely other place that I pay for.
Yeah.
Feel me?
Gotta go home sometimes.
Gotta go home.
Gotta go home.
When I tried to go, and this is for this specific relationship, this has nothing to do with men or women. It was just like when I would say, hey, I'm going to go do some laundry, hang out at home. Then she'd be like, well, why don't you want to stay?
Do it here, nigga.
Are you doing, I have laundry, or I have a washing machine and dryer.
What girl you got doing your laundry?
Right.
now?
Like, and it just became like, it became so inquisitive. I was like, all right, damn, I'll stay. That's bad.
That's not normal.
That's not normal.
Yeah, no, that's insecurities.
It's like, yo, I got a dip.
Which are fine. You know, you're allowed to have insecurities.
You are, but you're allowed to work through the insecurities. If you have an insecurity for an entire relationship, then there's no growth there.
Right.
Like you should eventually trust the other person that you're with enough to know that they're not going to be going and fucking someone while they're doing laundry.
Mm-hmm. It's like I'm playing Elden Ring. I'm just playing Elden Ring. I'm not even doing my laundry.
What's Elden Ring? Is that like a new porn?
Dude,
Is it a genre?
If they turned it into one,
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
It's a
there's a washing machine genre too. I'm sure.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
got stuck in a washing machine.
Oh shit, yeah.
Who came up with that?
It's you know what's weird, or not even weird. It's interesting that like there is nothing that's like not taboo or not too taboo that people don't know about it. Now everything is known. It's like in the 1940s, nobody was thinking about feet.
Yeah.
2022, it's like there's a lot of people that like feet.
And Quentin Tarantino sold me on feet.
Right. Yeah. That was his thing. He knew it.
He sold it.
Yeah, it was something I was reading the other day. It was just a fact that popped up on Instagram, and it was something like you've now seen, or like your grandpa might have seen 4 or 5 naked women in his entire life. Like we see that on a daily basis, just on random sites and ads that we see.
Yeah,
so,
and Grandpa, when he saw a naked woman, he was probably like, "What the? She needs to put some more clothes on." You know what I mean? Like he didn't have the same mindset.
The brains that people have are that's why they're struggling these days, because the stuff that's being aimed at you is stuff that your body is not evolved to handle yet.
In the Marlon Brando was in a movie, Streetcar Named Desire. And Streetcar Named Desire, when that was released in theaters, that was the first movie where a man showed his chest. Women across the nation passed out in the movie theaters. There were faintings. There were like, they were tripping out because they had never seen that. That's why he was so big. To them, they were like,
man's chest.
He has a 4-pack. Like back then, it was like,
Brando had swag too, though.
and she's like 4-pack. Oh my god! And he was Marlon Brando. So like
young Marlon Brando.
Yeah,
young Marlon Brando is a handsome guy,
dude.
When he got older, no, but
dude, he's so hot. Like he banged chicks and Richard Pryor. Like who does that? Like
is that a fact?
That's a fact.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
Yeah,
that's a fact. I don't know who banged who, but it was definitely a thing.
Hang on, how have I never heard this? What is
this? Is just like a known unknown, because it's like I didn't
know Richard Pryor was in the dudes.
He was. That was a big thing.
I could see Brando being into it, but
he's clearly gay. Marlon Brando.
Brando, yeah.
He's just like an explorer.
Yeah, who like he's clearly gay, but he's just like he just goes out to bang women. It's like he's selfish. He can have everybody.
It's just a hobby.
It's just a hobby.
Well, a lot of actors that I found, they explore human consciousness.
Marlon Brando, yeah. Show that to the.
Oh yeah.
Put that in the camera front for everyone who doesn't know what Marlon Brando looks like.
Handsome guy.
Yeah. So like nowadays he would barely make it on a fucking CBS TV show, but back then.
Oh, but dude, he was such a good actor too. Like if you see his young stuff of him auditioning and things, so a lot of actors, they rush their performances, but if you look at him, he's milking the performance, and it's an audition, and like the other actress was just even enamored by his performance.
He's taking his time doing it. He's
because acting is reacting.
You said acting is not reacting?
No, acting is reacting.
Acting is reacting.
Yeah, so it really doesn't matter how you deliver the line. It matters how that person hears the line and what their reaction is, because that's what they're going to show on camera.
You know what? The same can be said for stand-up.
Yeah.
And like in a sense, like we're
playing to the audience, right?
We're playing to the audience, but I think there's a lot of honesty that comes through that. So we have to be like with that audience. Like we could have a script, but that script means nothing at that point in time.
Yeah.
No, I agree with both of you. I just have nothing to add.
We had a good point about relationships before we started the pod. So like we were talking about these things before the podcast, and a lot of people don't like to talk about the stories they have before the podcast because it's not authentic whenever they're doing the pod. So we say let's save it for the pod, and then we all fucking forget what it was. It was another relationship aspect that we're talking about.
It wasn't a relationship aspect.
It was sex. Or was it sex? What was it?
I don't think it was sex. I think it was. Well, I guess we're gonna be editing around this part, but.
Oh no!
Let me see.
No, it was the Family Guy thing, right? Like, imagine if you didn't.
If we didn't focus on sex, the things that we could achieve, and that's kind of where my brain is at right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it does go along with what you were saying earlier that you want to focus on comedy, but yeah, you have. Is that the only? I mean, that's not the only reason you're with her, but.
Well, no, like it's. I want to focus on comedy and have time to focus on myself, because, and this is with a lot of guys. I feel like we jump into things before we're ready.
Right.
Even when we think we're ready, we're not.
Yeah.
Like we could walk. There's a taco place next door. We could walk past that place and see the woman. Oh my God, I want to be with her. Jesus Christ. And then we walk 3 more blocks, and then we're like, oh my God, she's gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna, our brains are just jumping to the next with women, and
right,
we
those
need
are
to
purely
just
physical things, though,
just
right?
physical. Yeah, no, I just want to be in a stasis. You know, work on my body, work on my health, work on my comedy, like work on my money.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Like more people should take that that mentality, but with the culture that we have these days, sex is just thrown at you all the time. So that's why you're constantly they're working on that like lizard brain that you have, the one that hasn't evolved yet, and they're hitting that, stimulating that. So all day long you're just thinking about sex, sex, sex. A lot of people who know me, they know that I was celibate for 4+ years. And I did this to do exactly what you're saying, to work on myself. And once you get past that certain point of thinking about sex constantly, your entire life will change. You'll realize how much that controls everything that you do. Mm-hmm. And you'll realize that every time you see a beautiful woman, that's what you're thinking about. Instead of actually just, hey, what are you doing?
I fucking hate Pornhub. I want to get rid of it. I want to go back to masturbating how we're supposed to.
Off your mind, right?
Off my mind.
Yeah.
You know how fucking wild that sounds, right? That's so hard to do.
No,
it's so hard to do.
That's what I do.
I gotta jump. You know, like, don't tell me. We're not doing this together. But like, it's really hard. Explain to me, like, what? Just meditate? How the fuck? I know Marcus is looking like.
Well, so
I stopped jerking off like 2 months ago, and like on the second month, I stepped outside, and $20,000 came into my bank account. It was crazy. And
you're still in a relationship? She's like money over sex too, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
he has NFTs in his pocket.
Yeah, they just showed up. I had a full beard. I jerked off. All the money gone. All my beard disappeared.
So the first decision I made to do it, I was reading something online. It was talking about semen retention. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, let me just see if I can get out of this mindset. So I was like, I'm going to do a month. So I went a month, and this is without sex, is what I was trying to do, just like to stay away from women so I could work on myself. And then after I went a month, I started like just feeling so much better because I was almost out of that mindset. It takes like 2 to 3 months before you get over that mindset of, ooh, I want to fuck that, I want to fuck that, I want to fuck that. But once you get over that, you see the world totally different, man. Like you have more time to focus on other hobbies, more time to grow those things. And then if you actually start looking into the aspects of of sex and the manipulation of it, you realize that they're taking away from your cognitive abilities. So whenever you're constantly producing semen, your body has to spend electrical impulses to make more semen. But if you practice semen retention, then your body doesn't have to produce more. So you actually keep the minerals and nutrients in your body that would technically go to the semen production, and you have more energy throughout the day to utilize on other tactics.
This is how you know it's true, because the entire time he wasn't fucking around, he learned that.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Semen retention? I think that's the least of my problems. I ate a large nacho by myself with 3 margaritas. I think my body dealing with that is way more exhausting.
Well, here's something crazy. Since I dated this girl for, it was a past girlfriend, came back into my life. We were together for a month and a half or so. It didn't work out, but I had sex with her, broke my celibacy, and I noticed such a huge change. Like there were some days.
For the negative?
Yeah. Oh my God, so bad.
In yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, like there were certain days where I literally wasn't myself mentally.
And you're thinking about that shit all the time.
Yeah, because at that point I had already learned so much about myself that I knew how I was supposed to feel in a stationary mood. Like most people don't understand who they are as a stationary being because they're constantly riding these emotional waves all day long. But if you can get to like a point of zen where you know who you are, then you know whenever you're not yourself. So I realized whenever she and I were together that my head was just somewhere else. And I was just thinking about like her all day long. I was like, oh man, I'm horny as fuck right now. I want someone to have sex with. And I would be focused on her instead of focusing on other tasks that I had to do. Just be like in my brain all the time. It's weird, man.
I need to. I'm trying to cut out relationships, drinking, and smoking. The state of zen is something I want to try to achieve.
Well, so if you can manage a relationship you ever heard of tantric sex?
Yes, I have heard of it, but define that.
So tantric sex was one of the reasons that I chose to get back in the relationship with this girl, because it was another one of the weird things that I learned over my 4 years of celibacy. But tantric sex, most people think it's like Kama Sutra, like just positions and things. It's not. It's so much more than that. If you practice it with someone else, you basically have sex and then you don't climax. And a lot of people are like, what? Why would you have sex and not climax? Well, it actually has chemical properties. Whenever you have sex and you don't climax, you release oxytocin instead of dopamine. So dopamine is that short hit of, oh yeah, that felt good. It's like, go get some more of that. Like, go get some more pussy. Like, have another orgasm. Go get some more of this type of food because your body's rewarding you for doing this thing. But if you release oxytocin, that is the love hormone. So it's a longer, it's something, when you do a task that requires a long time to perform, like if you build a doghouse, you're gonna really appreciate that doghouse because you spent a lot of time and a lot of effort into it. So your body releases that oxytocin. Same thing in a relationship. You can trick your body into doing these things. So what actually happens, because we practiced this like for a week or two while we first got together, we were having sex so much more frequently. Because the first time we were together, like 5 years ago, whatever, I wasn't like super sexual. And it's just because I was focused on my art and stuff instead of focusing on her as much as I should. But this time around, when we were practicing this method, instead of producing that dopamine hit and then getting back to my art, like having the orgasm get back to my art, I was producing this oxytocin or this love chemical in my body, and she was too. So it bonded us closer together.
That's wild, man.
But you guys ever like have sex and be okay if you don't come?
Oh yeah, that's just what this is. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm. Yeah.
Well,
So
when my girlfriend, when we have sex and she doesn't come, she's furious. So I don't know if I don't know if oxytocin is a hate hormone for women because they seem like they like to come, bro.
Is she furious like if you come and she does not?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. But if you both don't come,
still mad.
oh shit, nigga, I don't know what to say.
I think that was complete bullshit, bro. If
like,
that was true, then does one-sided tantric sex work? Or does it got to be two-sided? It's got to be.
You got to be on the same page. You got to be on the same page, and it sucks because the same shit with me. Like, I've had girls that have been okay with making me come, and then them not coming. But of course, that's gonna switch because nobody wants that. Nobody wants to just not come forever. Like
I do.
I mean,
I'm tired of it.
I like pleasuring the woman sometimes to where if they come,
Sometimes.
I'll come by myself. I don't give a fuck. I'll go in the room where she's at work and just do my thing. But if I can like make her come every fucking time, I win. There's like nothing like, there's a Drake line where he's just like, fuck him and don't come. Something like that. I forgot.
Wow.
Something like that.
So the way we were working on it is and the way I think it fundamentally works is if someone comes, then that's gonna be the factor that makes them want to come back to that thing. So if the woman has sex with you and she makes you come, that's basically her controlling you to come back and it's not. It might not be a real control thing. It might be a real control thing. I don't know. It depends on who the woman is.
You hear that, fellas?
It's a real control thing.
It's a real control thing. Don't come, guys. Don't do it.
Well, no, that's a driving force. It's dopamine. It's what it makes you do. It's like, go back and get some more of that. So it makes sense that a woman would want to make the man come to keep him around. However, if you're in a stable relationship with two people that are trying to grow something, it makes way much more sense to not climax unless it's like once a week. Like you pick a day and then you both climax together. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start having sex more frequently. Because a lot of times when guys, they climax, they like have to take that moment to like recharge, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you don't have to recharge, you just want to fuck all the time.
It's like, do you hear a ringing in the air? When you guys come, you ever hear a ringing in your ear?
Like a flash bomb went off. It's like,
That sounds like a problem. But no, it's something I wanted to put into practice. I'd read all about it, but I hadn't practiced it yet. And then when we actually started practicing, it was crazy.
You ever practice some shit with your girl?
Practice?
Yeah.
We talking about practice?
You ever go
Not
like
a game. Not a game. We talking practice?
Practice. I've done that.
Well, like what kind of stuff do you mean?
I mean, like the tantric, like Actually, no, not that. Kama Sutra positions. That was fun.
Yeah, that's what most people think Tantra is. It's just like all the
Right, they're two different things. Yeah,
very different.
Which is something I totally did not know.
Tantra is a way of life.
A way of life.
Oh yeah, because you're not just growing. You're not just having a sexual experience. What you're doing is you're building a chemical bond with another human being that projects out into the world. You're building sexual energy to grow a couple that then you take and you build something. So whenever you have a child, you're combining your energies together, and you're making this child this other form of energy that is you too. And then you can utilize your bond to grow this kid, right? So it's a lot of people they're not in committed marriages nowadays, so it's affecting kids, right? When you don't have two parents. Like there's a reason that these methods are out there. They're out there because they work. They work to maintain a bond with two people.
It's weird that even like divorced parents, that's becoming like a natural thing.
Oh, it's not natural. I mean, it's crazy that the norm is being divorced. Like it's if you are in a committed relationship with someone and you have a child, that's that people are like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, how are you doing this shit?
It's so
You're talking co-parents, like that type of stuff.
Yeah, like it happens all the time. But once, for instance, the girl that I just got out of a relationship with, she is bringing that into the relationship, and that's what's tough. Whenever you get a little bit older and you get these people that have had kids and stuff, and they're bringing that as well as their ex, the drama,
which is something that you have to be like prepared for in this day and age.
Yeah,
it's like I've dated 2 women with kids. One lady had 2 little girls, and one other lady had a little boy. And those kids, to me, were probably some of the best times of that relationship, because like with me and their moms, it's pretty much like everything was pretty much a pop quiz or a test, or me trying to prove that I can be. Yeah. So then it's like, I get it. I do.
Yeah.
But that wasn't where my life was at then, nor is it now. And it was just like, I did tell myself though, like when I was younger, like, I'm eventually probably going to have to go through that. And I did,
Yeah, I never want to experience that, dating a woman with a child. There was a few down here that I went on like Bumble dates with, and they're like, oh, I have a kid. And I was like, all right, we're done. Just because I don't want to raise another man's child. It wasn't a rude thing.
Facts.
Yeah. But then my ex came into my life, and she has a kid. And I love this woman so much that I was like, okay, it's a part of her. That's how I'm going to look at this. It's a part of her. And if this does work out between she and I, then I'll co-raise co-parent this kid with her. But it obviously didn't work out. But I mean, that's the only time I would make that exception. Like I don't want to raise another man's child.
I get that.
That's the animal in me coming out, because I think in the animal kingdom, if another gorilla comes in contact with a female that has a baby, you fucking wring that neck.
I do have an ex-girlfriend that I talk to like occasionally, and she has a kid now. And, she lives in a different state, but we keep in touch. And I've always made the joke to her, like, man, if I ever meet your son, I'm probably going to be like, man, you should be black. You should be black.
You should be mine. Actually,
you're not though. Now, like, your mom fucked up any chance you really had of being in sports. I mean, you could try, but there's only one Larry Bird. But you can try.
Yeah, it's I made that comment the other night because we were together 5 years ago. Whenever she split up and went and got with another guy and had a baby. Another guy apparently isn't a very nice guy. I've never met the guy. I don't know him, but she was talking about him the other night in a negative light, and I was like, see? I was like, you could have had a baby by a really nice guy.
What if he is a good dude, though?
He might be.
He might be.
She might be the one that's manipulating me to think he's a bad guy.
Man, that shit happens all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing that could happen. So I'm not saying that, no one knows him anyway, but at the same time, it's like, who knows what's truth?
I mean, it's wild. Like this whole, I don't know if you guys been following the news with Meg Thee Stallion. Like she may or may not have lied about being shot in the pinky toe by her ex-boyfriend, lover, partner, Tory Lanez. And look, I was never into Tory Lanez music. I've never once gave a fuck about Tory Lanez music. There was actually no. There's a few singles I do like.
Yeah.
He's another artist. But this story captured me because the doctors came out. One of the doctors, I believe, and anyone could look it up, but one of the doctors came out and said, there weren't any bullet fragments. There was only glass. She stepped on glass. She stepped on glass. She just did an interview with fucking Oprah's best friend, Gail, where she was like, I was just shot in the pig. Like, you ruined this man's career. He probably, I mean, who knows if, like, his career really would have skyrocketed like that. But the motherfucker's balding up here. Why are we putting more stress on this dude? Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. Like,
why did she do that in the first? Why did she lie on him?
I don't know the exact story.
Just for publicity?
It was there was, as far as I know, there was like some altercation between them and a third party. I don't know the exact specifics. Yeah. But at one point, it was her story against his, and her story was.
Well, I heard that she was shot by Tory Lanez. I didn't even hear the toe.
Yeah, in the pinky toe.
Yeah, I just thought that he fucking shot her.
Which is like if
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
If that did happen, that is an amazing callback to Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor, where Eddie Murphy shoots the pinky toe off of one of the actresses in the movie. But I say all that to say. She fucking lied, man. Like, that's like, why would you ruin?
Well, and there's not gonna be any consequences for that lie either.
It's like, look, guys, we're a lot of things. We're a lot of fucking things. But when was the last time? Let's honestly think about the last time a dude went out of his way to destroy a woman's career for no reason.
I mean,
or for there's reasons.
Are we sure he didn't pull a gun out though?
Well,
like that's enough.
He probably did.
If you pull a gun out on me, yeah, I'll ruin your career. Are you fucking serious? Yeah.
I mean,
I would step on glass myself.
What did you do to
say that you shot me in the toe and ruin your career because you had the gall to pull a gun out on me?
What if she pulled a gun on him first?
Well, this is a good topic, because then it's like sometimes people do lie, and it's like, yo. Well, and I retract my statement, because dudes do ruin women's careers. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, well, we heard Louis C.K. ruined 2 women's careers. I mean, I don't know if
whose did he ruin?
The women that he masturbated
jerked off in front of. Yeah.
How did they ruin their careers though?
Apparently, his manager. Next, I don't know. This is not to be taken seriously, because I don't know the full story.
Right, one of those like too hot for TV.
This is ruining careers right now. What we're doing, we don't know the facts, but we're talking about a story.
Yeah.
So the real problem here is how people are interpreting this, because like the reason that Megan Thee Stallion was so crazy is because as soon as everyone heard this story, they went fucking nuts. Like, yes, she lied on him, but it's the way we're taking information in as it's fact.
It's probably the type of lie too, because it's like she probably would have gotten away with it had she not, like, there's certain things to lie about. That probably wasn't one of them, because she had to go to the doctor, she had to get the surgery, and it's like,
bro, I'm the top of my career, rising, and you pull a gun out on me.
But why? Why did you pull a gun on me?
Yo, that doesn't matter. It doesn't. No, I mean,
if you pull the gun on me first, and I pull one back on you, and I pull the trigger,
I just don't think Megan Thee Stallion pulled a gun out on Tory Lanez.
How do you know this?
No, she has way more to lose.
Tory Lanez is a tiny man.
She does, and he is.
Yeah, she can sit on him and kill him.
Maybe that's what he was threatened.
But
He's like, fucking bitch.
But look, if you're a rising star, like, that type of small lie that you think won't come back does, which is with the Amber Heard thing. Because it's like, she was like, no, I'm going to say all this shit. I'm going to get Johnny. No one's going to believe me. All the while, he did have, like, it being recorded in his phone, which is probably the best acting he's ever done in his life. But
I'm so glad he did that too.
It was smart.
I hate.
It's like, damn, you should have picked your battles. Because it's like, had you not done all this, Amber or Meg, had you not said those particular lies, probably would have gotten away with it.
Well, there's no point in doing that to someone anyway.
Yeah. Don't lie at all.
Yeah.
Don't lie. Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, man, this Megan Thee Stallion shit.
Well, yeah, you're focused on the gun.
Yeah, bro. It's a gun.
Yeah, you don't think that
would threaten my life.
You don't think that was a reason
of my career?
Yeah. It's fucked up.
I will try to end you after
that. Right, and I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Have you ever pulled a gun on anyone?
Hell no.
But would you in a scenario? What would the scenario be?
Tory Lanez is 5'2".
I'm talking about you.
He could have been frustrated. He's got short man syndrome.
I'm talking about Marcus Bond.
Yeah, totally
me pull a gun out on
if someone came at you and you had a gun on a table and they were trying to fuck you up. If I was trying to fuck you up, I'm bigger than you.
Mm-hmm.
If I was coming at you to fight you, would you just get beat up?
Probably. I don't want to kill somebody.
But you don't have to shoot the gun, but you can pull the gun.
Sure.
Then you pull the gun on someone. Maybe
Right.
she threatened him and he pulled the gun out. Like, don't fucking come at me.
This is also wildly hypothetical.
And then she stepped on glass and then he shot her in the toe. So you
Hey,
can't
you got a little glass on your toe.
you can't get hung up.
By the way,
on-
it could come out tomorrow to where like, yeah, he did shoot the gun and hit the ground, caused glass to go on her toe.
But I'm just saying that the point is you can't get hung up on one little fact in the story because there are two sides of every story. And it's the same way with my ex telling me that her guy was bad. Like, I don't know what she did to him to cause that bad reaction, whatever it was.
The world definitely isn't like all black and white. Like there is so much gray, and I think that's it's like in relationships. At least in my relationships, the ones I feel like there's no way to pinpoint who's right or wrong because things just are sometimes. It's like, damn, we're looking at the world in two different views. When we're on the same page, it was great, but it's really hard to get back on the same page.
Can you go into more detail on this? Because I'm very fascinated in this.
Well, because there is no, if you're in a relationship and there's an issue, and that issue's not solved, whatever it is, y'all could be playing chess, and one of y'all did an extra move than you were supposed to. That seed right there is going to spread out into every other facet. And there's no way to, if you all spend years together after that, with all these other little things building up, there's no way to pinpoint who's right or wrong. It's just like, damn, now we are now looking at each other.
Because of a chess move.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm using that as an example. I'm just saying that
Like the one thing that builds onto something else.
if you go in a relationship without solving something, it's going to build to the point to where there is no way to pinpoint who's right or wrong. It's just like now you guys are in static with each other. Does that make sense?
I think I get what you're saying. And that's where communication comes in, right? Because if you do have a problem and you nip it in the bud.
That's why closure on anything is so important, because it's like, I think once you fuck up trust on any level with that person,
it's hard to get that back.
It's hard to get that back.
Yeah.
And no matter what it is, it's like, yo, like, I don't know, like it could be something very minute, but to get back on the same page is really hard for two humans. It could be like,
yeah, I mean, you can say something big, like where people cheat on each other. Like that's a tough one to come back from.
That's a tough one to come back from, and it's like
it's subliminally, it's in your mind every time they're like, oh, I'm gonna go, do this, and you're like, are you gonna go fuck somebody? Yeah. You might not ever say it, but it's in your head. You're thinking it. But yeah, you're right. Like those issues do build on each other. But I think that's also like an insecurity thing.
Totally.
Like if your communication is on point with this person, then you can talk about everything. So like if a small issue does pop up and you have a rational conversation about what that issue was and you come to a conclusion, then you don't have to build on it anymore. You're like, oh fuck, I fucked up. Okay, I get it. But like I think I understand what you're saying about like you don't know who's right and wrong because it gets like so
convoluted.
The issue gets so convoluted. But I do think there's a right and wrong in every scenario. But I understand your thing though. The like the fractal nature of
it all. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where therapy comes in though.
Therapy.
Like a third party that comes in and has no take, takes your take, takes their take, and
takes your money.
Takes your money a little bit and then goes, all right, so here's what they're saying, here's what you're saying. Let's figure this out now.
You don't think people can do that on their own?
No.
Why not?
Because pride.
Pride.
But there's a thing called ego death.
Yeah, so but the majority of people don't go through an ego death, and instead of an ego death, you get the end of a relationship and no compromise.
That's the problem. More people should explore themselves, like Mike was talking about.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that. But like when you don't, that's why therapy comes in. Yeah.
Well, that's why I was saying that it's so hard once you've worked on yourself. And that like 4 years that I took, it's hard to get on the same page with anyone now because I see the world very differently.
You don't think that's building your ego then?
What do you mean?
Thinking that you're you know more than they do, and it matters more because you've been through your specific growth?
Well, no, I didn't say that I see the world better than they do. I just said I see the world different than they do.
Yeah, which.
So the issue that you're talking about, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
The issue that you're talking about with the relationships, and you don't know who's right and wrong, that's strictly an emotional issue. If you are over your emotions, your traumas and stuff, then you can separate yourself from the issue, the argument that's happening, and you can see if you fucked up or if they fucked up. So there is a clear right and wrong, but you have to be able to separate yourself from the issue instead of getting emotional over the issue. I think a lot of people they're not in control of their emotions. So when they start having these conversations, their insecurities flare up and their emotions go crazy. And then when your emotions go crazy, you're not thinking logically anymore.
Yeah. And I agree because I've cheated before. So I know the effect it had on me and the effect it had on the other person. And I can tell you, like, you're not only hurting that person, but you're hurting yourself. And then you find yourself doing a whole bunch of push-ups and sit-ups like me. Like, drinking protein shakes, trying to get bigger and ripped. Like, trying, anyway. But not for that lack of.
That was when I went through my first breakup when I was in college. And my first college breakup, that's how I started working out then.
It was because of that.
Yeah, because I realized that, hang on a second, I can go to the gym and I can take all these bad feelings that I have that I don't understand, because I didn't have anyone to teach me these things. Like, growing up, our parents don't understand their emotions either,
right.
So they can't teach you about your emotions. And that's just the Western culture at large. But I realized that I could go to the gym, work out, and I would get a hit of something. I felt good after I was done. And so I just started like dumping all my time to that, which got me over the first breakup. But then it also built a body, and I was like, holy shit.
It's very interesting that people like look at dudes that are like working out and they're just like, huh, you're gigantic. Who hurt you? Like, who broke you? Yeah. You never say that to a woman like, oh, she's gorgeous. Like, and then
what's wrong with you?
Yeah, like, oh yeah, like there's something wrong with her. Okay, they say that, so there's that. They look at us, who hurt you? And then they're just like, oh, you're broken.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
It's
society.
It's all insecurities, man. Like anytime that someone constantly worries about their looks, it's something that happened maybe in their childhood, maybe in their early adult life, but they haven't gotten over it.
Oh, buddy, I'm wildly insecure. Whew. Guys, let's talk about it.
Yeah, that's why you've been wearing your nicest
That's not an insecurity, is it?
This is
the if you're talking about it on a podcast, you're not really insecure about it.
Oh, I mean, you know.
This is how we're getting over it. This is a therapy session.
He said my nicest clothes. I'm like, these probably are my nicest pants. Like, for sure. Like, you know when you have some pants, you're like, these are the pants.
Some good pants, man.
I got my jeans, and it's like, I know which jeans are the better jeans.
Yeah. If you see me with a fresh cut, check on me.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? Like, damn, are you all right? Are you good, Marcus?
When Marcus was going through a rough period, he lost somebody, and it was the funniest he had ever been for that time. He's funnier now, but
yeah, I'm funnier now, but at the time I was just rocking these jokes out.
You're transmuting the emotions.
Oh yeah,
transmuting the negative emotions. I was just doing it in a physical sense. Whenever I was working out, you're doing it on stage. You're taking this negative energy that you have and you're turning it into a positive energy by playing with the crowd. That's the entire world that we live in. Is just based off of positive and negative energies, and that's all emotion is: energy and motion. So you're just influencing the energy around you.
You are an interesting dude, Kyle.
He knows. He's like, this is what happens when you're broken. When you get broken and then you want to fix yourself, this is how it looks.
Oh, dude, it was so bad. It's the girl that I just got a relationship with. She was the one that broke me too.
He's like a hipster brawny man. Like, he's gonna.
Well, no,
this is how he's. Yeah.
So it's interesting. It was almost like me dating her again and breaking my celibacy on her was closure for me. Because the past 5 years, she's the reason that I haven't, been with anyone. She's the reason that I dove into who am I?
Who are you a person?
Yeah.
That's why, like, I'm trying to do my best to cut back on alcohol. It's a slow process, but it's like, I want to know who I am without the alcohol.
Yeah.
Without the, everything else. And like I said, it's a slow process because we had drinks last night.
Dude, that's a hard one to kick. So that was one of the issues that I had when she and I first broke up, because in our society, when you're feeling bad, it's so easy to go out and get some drinks. And then when you get some drinks, you start to feel good.
Like, we live in New Orleans.
Yeah. So I was drinking a lot right when we first broke up. And I was doing a lot of stupid shit because of the alcohol. And that's the hardest thing. Like I was for about 2 months, I was like an alcoholic pretty much. I ordered like wine in cases and was like drinking. I was Johnny Depp whining. Yeah. So I would drink these like bottles of wine every night, and it got bad. But then one day I was like, fuck it, cold turkey. I'm done.
Done.
Yeah, I went to the gym the same way I did the first time when I was younger, and worked through my issues in the gym. But the psychosis aspect of stopping that much liquor cold turkey was insane, man. Like that, but that's what separated me from myself. That's what made me start looking into, hang on a second, what is this body?
Like, what is this body? What can I achieve? What am I like when I'm not on something that's going to like alter my mindset? Who am I really? What can I actually pull off? That's when I think about that, and I'm like, that becomes more intriguing by the day. That's why I'm happier, like, not happier, but I'm happy now. Like that I'm not in a relationship. I'm of course hurt. I miss the relationship. I miss a lot of the relationships I was in.
But what do you actually miss from the relationship? You miss the chemicals that you get hit.
I was speaking with this cat yesterday, and he was just like, yeah, and you start to think less and less about it to the point to where, what are you missing? You think of the person, but what are you missing? So I miss a very good woman, but that is a ghost. That's a memory that I'm latching onto that I can't even remember anymore. So it's like putting yourself in a position where, like, you know, exploring who you really are. That sounds so enticing. That's like you said, figure out what this body can do. I was doing push-ups the other day. My body was just like, oh, you want to get back on this now? Is this what we're doing? Okay. Yeah. Lay down and then get back up in a few minutes.
The guy who started Apple, what's his name?
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, he has. There's a video out there somewhere of him saying that life becomes interesting when you realize that you can push on life and something comes out the other side. And that intrigued me so much. And that's why I'm talking about the energy aspects. Yeah. Like when you realize that your emotions are your energy, and if you aim them in a direction, there's going to be something pop out the other side.
No matter what it is, positive or negative energy.
Yeah. So it's very cool to like think about life that way, because you realize that you can move life. Life doesn't move you. Yeah. God, what a great place to stop.
That's good.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so happy that you guys are taking over. Our next podcast just arrived, so we're going to try to get them in here and get them rolling. Marcus and Mike, we'll do this again tonight because it was a great conversation.
It was good. We jumped into more stuff.
Yeah.
It's content. More content.
Thank you guys for coming in.
All right. For shizzle. Till next time.
Marcus, you want to say anything?
All right. Peace out.
You guys have shows coming up? We can do that too.
Yeah. I'm going on tour in June. Going to be hitting Chicago, Milwaukee, Madison, Bloomington, Illinois, and possibly Detroit. Then I get back. Me and Mike are going to be producing a show. We're going to be filming some 15-minute sets, so that way we can put it on the internet. People can watch it. So look out for that.
Put some nice clips on. I'm opening for Matt Ruby later on this month. TBA. But yeah, I can't wait.
Hey, what are you guys on social medias?
At It's Marcus LOL. You got to put the it's at It's Marcus LOL. Twitter and Instagram.
Cool. Mike?
And Mike Ha _ comedy on Instagram. And it's Mike Hall on TikTok.
Fuck yeah. You guys get at them.
Yeah.
Deuces.